Good day, students. I hope you are well, more especially grade 9 and 10 students. Today, I want us to do some factorization. It's not difficult at all, more especially if you're able to pay an elevated attention, because this topic sometimes has a negative tendency of allowing hyenas to take care of the goats. Okay, but today I'm going to simplify this for you. Let's say maybe you have a 25 y squared minus, let's say possibly we have 4 here, and then we have x squared. I want us to factorize this. The best thing to do here is to observe that this 25 is a perfect squared, and then also y squared is a perfect squared. Therefore, this is the same as 5y raised to the power 2. Take away 4, it's also a perfect square. Hey, so I'm going to say that that is 2, because x is also a perfect square. I'm going to have x and then I raise this by 2. So now this becomes a difference of 2 squares. Okay, and it's really easy if you are careful enough. What you do is you're going to open 2 brackets like this. Now here in this space here, you're going to put this base here of 5y. Okay, so I'm going to say this is 5y and then 5y here. Now my last term should be the base here, which is 2x. Pay attention, you have 2x here and you have 2x there. But in terms of the sign, you just need to say plus or minus, and it doesn't matter where you locate the plus and minus. This minus could have been here, and the positive could have been here as well. So it's not really a complex. You just need to be very careful right there. Okay, so that is the first question. Now, number 2. Let's say maybe I give you guys a trinomial that is not difficult at all, and say that is x squared minus, let's say maybe minus 2x, and I say minus 8. So if I want to factorize this, I'm going to say to myself, this is a trinomial, okay, of the degree 2. Therefore, I'm going to have 2 brackets like this. The first term should be the factors of x squared. In this case, it has to be x and x. The last term should be the factors of 8. And then so far we have 4 and 2. Doesn't matter where you put 4 and 2. I'm going to put a 2 there, then I put a 4 there. Now, you check between the 2 numbers, which one is bigger. So 4 is bigger than 2, obviously. So now that 4 is going to take the middle sign of this trinomial. Therefore, the negative should be here, and then here should be positive. Okay, such that when you multiply, the end product should really give you guys minus 8, and when you add them, they should give you guys negative 2. Okay, that's how you guys will factorize this. Now, you also have this type of factorization. Let's say maybe you guys have a c into x minus y, and then I have a minus d here into x minus y. If I want to factorize this, I'm going to observe something here. So now, if you check, this x minus y and this x minus y appears to be the common term between this term and this term. So I'm going to take it out, that common term, and that is going to be x minus y. Now, what are you left with? You are left with c here, and then this minus d. So I'm going to say this is c minus d. That's how you guys are going to factorize this. It's not difficult at all. Just pay attention. Number 4. Let's say maybe I have, let's say it's a into b minus 4, and then a plus c now, and then I have 4 minus b. If you guys pay attention here, you will see that b minus 4 is tempting to say is the same as 4 minus b. So that is not the same. Check what you guys do. You want this one to be the same as that one so that you can perform what I just did right here. Okay, and we call this factorization by grouping in grade 9. It's not a complex issue. You just need to be very careful. Now, I'm going to say to myself, that is a into b minus 4. And then now, because I want this to be the same as this, and if you observe it carefully, you will see that this 4 minus b is just one negative away from this one. Therefore, I'm going to change the sign here, this operator here, to be from, if it was negative, it was going to be positive. But in this case, it's positive. Therefore, it's going to become a negative right there. Let me put this negative in that color there. And then I'm just going to keep my C there. And then now I write b minus 4. That is b minus 4 there. Okay. The other way is to take out the negative from there, and it's just a long walk in the park. So I'm just gonna really do away with that method, just to say that this one here is just one negative away from the previous term. Now, if you observe this with the bird's eye view, you will see that these two terms are now the same, so you can take one from them, and that is b minus 4. Now you are left with a, which is a there, and then minus c. I'm just going to put minus c right there. This is how you're going to factorize this. It's not difficult at all. Okay, sometimes it can be complex. Let's see how. Sometimes it really can cause stress in the test. Let's say maybe you have it in this way, like 6x and then minus 9y and then minus 2ax, and then you have a plus 3ay like this. Okay, so if you want to factorize this, I'm going to group the first two terms and the last two terms. Now pay attention. By the way, you have 4 terms here. So if you have 4 terms, it means 2 things. It means you're going to factorize this by grouping, or you're going to convert the first three terms, which is going to be a perfect trinomials, and then the last one is to be a perfect square. Now check something here. Now I'm going to group the first 2 terms, which is 6x minus 9y there, say plus the last 2 term, which is negative 2ax plus 3ay. Now I'm going to take a common factor here, which is possibly 3. Okay, so now let's take 3 here. We have 3 into that is going to be 2x now minus 3y. Now if you check here what is common, you're going to see that a is common. But hey, you're going to take out the negative right there as well. That is going to be negative a. Now you are left with 2x. Okay, negative a is out. Now you have 2x right there, and then here a is out and the negative is out there. Therefore, this is bound to be negative, such that when you multiply this term, it's going to times down and boil down to positive, to that sign there, which is positive. Now you have 3y, because 3y is still remaining. Okay, and then now you will see that this boils down to what we've been doing from the previous 2 examples. I'm going to say that that is going to be 2x minus 3. Okay, and then now I'm left with this term here and then that term. So that is going to be 3 minus a there. And that's how you guys are going to factorize this. You know, it's not really difficult at all, but sometimes it can cause serious panic in the exam room. Now, let's check this one. It's not really difficult, but straightforward. Let's have 3a squared here plus 4a minus 3a there, and then a negative 4. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to factorize the first 2 terms, okay? I'm just going to group the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms. That's how we do it, by the way. Sometimes we'll take the first and the last, but for now, we're just going to really do the easy one, and then part 2, we're going to complicate things. Now, we have 3a squared plus 4a plus negative 3a there minus 4 like that. Now you take what is common in the first bracket. So a is common there. Now you're going to take out that a, and then you'll be left with possibly 3a plus 4. Okay, it's not difficult at all. you still have this operator, which is plus. Now, if you check what is common here, you will see that negative is common. So I'm going to take the negative right there, take it out, that negative, and then you are left with 3a. The negative is gone. That is 3a. And then here you are left with a positive 4. Why? If you multiply this, the first two, it's going to tie us down to negative 3a. And if you multiply this with that, it's going to tie us down to negative 4. Okay, so this is correct. And therefore, as a result, you're going to say to yourself, these two terms here are the same, so you're going to take one, but be very careful. There is invisible 1 just right here in the last term. So now you're going to say to yourself that you have the first term, which is 3a plus 4, like the usual way, into the this term which multiplies this one, and then that is a, and then now you have a negative 1 there. Okay, so this is how you guys are going to work it out. I don't think it's really complex. You just need to be very careful. And then now let's say maybe we have a perfect square, a trinomial, and some perfect square within that trinomial. Let's say maybe I want you guys to factorize this one, x minus 1, and then a squared minus 9k squared. Okay, if you guys check, you can see that this is a difference of two squares, and sometimes it can really be complex in the exam. So check what you guys do. You open these brackets here because you want to have another bracket inside. So now, because that is the binomial, you're going to have two brackets here. In this space here, the first term should be this base here, okay, like the usual way. And then now this is going to be x minus 1, and then here you have x minus 1. Now here in the last terms should be the perfect square of that, which is going to be 3k. Okay, that is 3k, and then here is 3k. Doesn't matter where you put plus and minus. I'm gonna put a minus there and put a plus there. Simple. Now check. You can remove the brackets here nicely. You simplify it. It's going to be x minus 1 minus 3k into x minus 1 plus 3k, just like that. Okay, and this is how you're going to factorize this problem. Now let's see why I'm bringing this to your attention. Let's say maybe now guys, you have possibly x squared, and then plus 4x plus 4. I say take away maybe 49 a squared. What I want you guys to see is that we have 4 terms here. So you can think of grouping, but if we were to think about that, if you group the first term and the last two terms, the first two terms rather, and the last two terms, you will see that if you are to follow that logic of taking out the common factor here, it won't really work. Okay, so it is best that you know perfect square trinomials like this one. The first 3 terms, we call them the perfect square trinomial. Let's check how we do that. Okay, so I'm just going to factorize the first 3 terms, and that is going to be x plus 2 into x plus 2. Just be very careful right there. Then minus, if you observe this with a bird's eye view, you will see that it's the same as 7a, and then you square that. Okay, this becomes a beautiful perfect square. And then this as well, it's a perfect square trinomial where you're going to have x plus 2, then you square that, minus 7a, then that is squared as well. Guys, pay attention here. This is similar to what we had previously. So I'm just going to apply that sweeping logic in this case to say that we have x plus 2 minus 7a into x plus 2 plus now 7a. That's how you guys will factorize this. Let me take one more example around this and saying that you guys have let me check. Let's say that is x squared and then possibly 8x, and then plus 16, I say minus, let's say this time around 64. 64, it can be x squared. Okay, it can really be x squared, but let me just put now for p, I just put a p squared there. Okay, now pay attention. If you guys group the first two terms and the last two terms here, it won't really work. In fact, you will really even struggle to have it being the same. So if you are struggling in that way, what you will do is you check the first three terms. Okay, they always form a perfect square trinomial. In this case, if you observe the first three terms and you wish to factorize them, you're going to get x plus 4 into x plus 4. Okay, minus 64 is the same as 8 squared. You have a p squared there. This should ties down to p squared, 8p squared. And this, if you observe it carefully, you will see that it's x plus 4 that is squared minus 8p that is squared as well. Okay, so this becomes a beautiful perfect square trinomial. Difference of two squares, so to say. So therefore, to conclude this, you're going to have x plus 4 minus 8p into x plus 4, and then a plus 8p. That's how you guys will factorize this, and it's not difficult at all. But I want us to do more complex ones. Sometimes we can have more complex stuff. Let's check how. This is very much important, more especially if you are going to be doing pure maths in grade 10, and also if you're in grade 9, if you love maths, it's going to be extremely important. Okay, let's agree that the trinomial x squared minus, let's say it's minus 12. Okay, it's minus 12x here, and then let me check something here. Let's say it's plus now 35. If I say factorize this trinomial, it's quadratic expression. Okay, so it's gonna have two brackets like this, x, and 5d and 7. The signs are negative and negative. Okay, this is really easy. We have done this big time. But now, if I want to make your life extremely difficult, I'm going to say to myself, to factorize this, to say, if I want to make your life difficult, I just want to change this now to be x plus 1, and then I square this. I say minus 12 into x plus 1 plus 35. If I say factorize this problem is not far detached from the previous one. If you guys check that, what changed here is that x became x plus 1, and then this 12 here, x became x plus 1. So that is the basic logic right there. Okay, so I'm just going to have this one. Beautifully so. Pay attention. Now, x became x plus 1. Therefore, this is has to be x plus 1, and then x plus 1 right there. And then the factors are still going to be the same. That is minus 5 and minus 7. Now, you can simplify this. It's not difficult. That is x minus 4 into x minus, this should possibly be 6. Okay, and that's how you guys are going to factorize this. So this tells you that if I give you something like this, like a k minus maybe 2, and then I square this, then I say minus 2 into k minus 2 there, and then I say that that is minus 3. So the best thing to do here is to treat this one. Let me change the color for that to be maybe yellow. Okay, yellow can really do. Maybe green. Okay, green will do. So that space, we are used to be seeing it as x. So this is our new x. So I'm going to say, to do this, I must say that this is my x now, and that is k minus 2. Here should be k minus 2 as well. Now I need the factors of 3 and 2, of 3, okay, which is 3 and 1. So I'm going to put a 3 there and then a 1 there. Now the sign of this 3 is dependent on the sign. There is minus. I'm going to put a minus here, then I put a plus, and then I'm done. I just need to simplify this part here, which is going to give me x minus 5 into x plus 1. And that's how you guys are going to factorize this. It's not difficult at all. So now, pay attention. Give me a second. I'm supposed to have a class now. So let me remind this person that, this group, that they must give me 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. Okay, I was just telling the other class that we will meet in 5 minutes time. So this video, I'm just gonna end it now. Pay attention. If I have maybe a minus or maybe plus 1, then I square this. I say minus. Think about it in this way. Let's just have a minus here. Okay. And I have the previous problem. Okay. The previous problem, which was minus 2. So minus 2 into, I'm just going to write the inv10 of that to be 1 minus a, the way we've been doing it. And then I put, this time around, let me check what can I put here. Let me put, that was minus 3. To get a plus 2, this should be a 1. So let's put a 1 there. Okay. So now I want to factorize this. How am I going to do it? 1 minus a is more like the same as, it's not the same as a minus 1. So I need to change this to be the same as that. The best thing to do is to change this sign only. So you're going to have a minus 1, then you square it, because now you want this one to be a minus 1. I'm going to change this to be a positive now. Plus, you write your 2 there, and then you have a minus 1, and then you put plus 1. Okay, and then now you can factorize this carefully. Pay attention. We are used to be seeing this as x and this as x as well. So that means that this factorization will be the first 2 terms should be this one here, which we are used to seeing it as x. So I'm going to say that is a minus 1 and then a minus 1. Now you want the factors for 1. This has to be hard now. So that means the factors of 1 has to be 1 and 1 there. Be very careful because you want the product to be positive 1 and then the sum to be 2. So the signs here are going to be plus and plus. Okay. Now, because this was a perfect square binomial, it's going to give you guys a. If you add these two numbers, it's going to give you a. And then if you add these ones, they're going to give a young 0 as well. And then you're going to have a there. And then this ties down to a squared. Okay. I'm going to do